Today, I am very excited to say we will be sitting down and talking with Hunter Daly, a director of photography, or DP, who resides in the UK. He's worked on advertisements for companies like BMW, Adidas, and Ralph Lauren, as well as music videos for artists like A$AP Ferg and Sam Smith. This is the first part in a two-part series around the Tullamore Dew whiskey commercial, with the director being Valentin Petit and the director of photography being Hunter Daly. Thank you for getting on and talking with me today. Could you tell me about your job and duties as a DP or director of photography on set?
Yeah, so my role, I guess, is I'm always waiting for a script on any project, whether that's an ad or a music video or a film, whatever. I'll receive that script, and then my job there is to break that down technically, both creatively and technically, and understand what the director might want. Sometimes they're very clear in it, sometimes they're not. You sort of suss that out. You figure that out when you're reading how much you're going to have to bring to the table and how much you're just going to have to achieve what's written. And that depends on the style of the director, whether they're prescribing, this is what I need, this is what I need you to achieve, or whether it's much more open and you're going to be in more of a collaborative process. My job is to interpret specifically how we're going to move the camera, the style of the camera, whether it's fast, whether it's slow, whether we're close to the actors, whether we're far away among the lenses, the energy that you're going to communicate through the way the camera's moving, the angles, whether it's low, whether it's high, because all of these change the way the audience perceives the film.
Today we will analyze the Tullamore Dew whiskey advertisement, with the director of photography being Hunter Daly and the director being Valentin Petit. So I'm going to show the video now, and then we're going to be asking you some questions afterwards.
The lines between us, imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us, we were made from the same stuff, beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. I'll drink to that. See, we are one. There's no them, only us. And that's all we ever needed. Only love. Oh, and clean cups. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. I want to feel it all. Winter sun, summer rain. See, these differences don't exist, and they never did. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that might mean forgive and forget, because it's just me and you in the end. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
As you'll see, I'll be overlaying some behind the scenes provided by Hunter throughout this segment for more context, as well as to give you more of an insider look. Could you give me a rough outline of the prep process, the shooting days, number of crew a project of this scale takes to come to life?
So I reckon I heard of the project about 4 weeks before we shot. And at that point, I'm very much trusted with the director to deliver this project that's been being prepped for almost a year and being sold and stuff like that. So it's there's a big responsibility in that way to deliver it properly. So I've come in 3 weeks before, and I'm starting a remote process. So talking through, just as I said at the start of the call, like I'm working on how we're going to light things, the mood, we're exchanging lighting references, we're exchanging how we might move the camera, all this kind of stuff. And then I'm also receiving a storyboard perhaps. On this particular project, we had Val storyboarded it himself, sometimes as a storyboard artist. And so I had it was a pretty prescriptive script in the sense that it was very much, this is what we need, these are the transitions, this is how we need you to shoot it. And I had little pockets of things where I knew I was going to be able to make up shots and improvise on the set and improvise in the prep process, but there were some very fixed transitions on this, which we're going to talk about later, I think. So then we get to the shooting days, and those are 2 shooting days, 2 full shooting days, and crew-wise, I'm just trying to remember. We had one Steadicam operator for both days who came from France. His name is Théva Vasseur. We had 2 to 3 camera assistants. We have at least a focus puller who's moving the focus. The person helping them on a digital shoot is a loader. They're not loading film per se. They might even have some help. We then have a video person who's doing all the monitors on set, and a DIT who's downloading the footage and transcoding it into the files that the post-production need. I might have then had a gaffer, so a chief lighting technician, and 4 lighting technicians with us in the shooting crew. But we were also pre-lighting sets while we're shooting. So let's say you've lit set 1, and while set 1 is sort of being finished, or while set 1 is being done and shot, you've already got team 2 working on that second location. So when you arrive, it's sort of done, or it's fully done. And so we did that on both days. We had 2 crews working. And then I had a few grips to move the dolly and stuff like that.
How extensive is your overall shot planning for something like this?
On this particular project, the shot planning was pretty precise because the transitions had to be done as much in camera as possible. That's always going to produce a better image with less stuff happening that can appear strange to an audience. And Val, the director, is someone who is very precise ahead of shooting. Some people like to make it up closer to the shoot, but Val is very much heavy in the prep process. So I sort of, as the right-hand person on a project, I have to match that mood, and that's important as DP to be able to match the mood of and the style of the director, and that's why it's important to know who you're working with. Yeah, so all in all, the shot planning was very precise on this film because of the director's style, because of the nature of doing quite tricky transitions with really precise masks that have to match shots. And so it's really important on this kind of stuff with VFX to do as much preparation as you can before you shoot. Testing is a really important part of that too. And so that's a camera thing. And so while we're also discussing how we're going to film the actual camera movement and things, we're also doing a lot of discussion about lighting references. So normally this would take the form of me and Val, me and whoever the director is, sending lots of references of things we think are relevant to the scenes, and that's usually via WhatsApp or something. On some particular projects, I'm motivated to present a lighting document or references, and sometimes this is requested by the agency, which it was on this. And then constantly, you're constantly testing the waters. So, for example, let's start in the bar.